Hello world, today I'm going to show you how to work with dates and times in JavaScript. In this exercise we're going to have various buttons that work with the dates and the times. They'll display the time right now, the time 24 hours ago, the time 1 week ago, and also the date and time from 10 years ago. Alright, let's get to it. The HTML. Now what's important here, we're going to link our page to a JavaScript file, and we're going to have a form with our buttons on it. Action is just going to post to the same page. We're not going to have to send anything to the server. And we must have distinctive IDs for each and every single one of our buttons, and they all must be of type button. We must have a paragraph with an ID of display. This is where we're going to present our output. Alright, let's look at the JavaScript. Okay, we got a function called start here. This is going to be the first function that executes. And all we're going to do in this function is we're going to take a bunch of variables and tie them to the buttons that we have on our HTML page. And then we're going to take those same variables and we're going to add event listeners to them. That happens on the click, and we're going to have various functions we're going to call here in JavaScript, each one tied to its own button. Alright, and we're going to have a helper function here called pad. It's going to take a number and a size. Both are going to be integers. The number is going to represent the minutes portion of a clock. Whenever it's, let's say, it's 9:01 a.m., you're not going to see 9:1. You're going to want to see 9:01, and that's what this function does. You would pass the 1 as the number, and then 2 for the size. 2 because you're going to want to display 2 digits in all. Alright, and now this is the goods right here. Get time and date as string. This takes a date and time input. We're going to have an array of our various months because of the way that JavaScript handles the date and time. Alright, AM or PM. So we're going to set it at AM at first. Then we're going to check our hours. Get our date time input that we had passed in here to our function. We're going to get the hours. Call this method get hours. Then we're going to check if our hours are greater than or equal to 12. Is it noon or is it later than noon? If so, we're going to change AM or PM to PM, and we're going to subtract 12 off of our hours. Then we get the minutes, calling that pad function that we described earlier. From our datetime input, we call get minutes, and of course pad 2 because we want to display 2 digits for our minutes. Var month is the month, list of months. Datetime input gets month. This is going to be an integer from 0 to 11. Then our date is going to be the day of the month that it is. And our year, datetime input gets full year. This is going to be a 4-digit year that we're going to have. Then we're going to return a compiled string here, hours, minutes, space, AM or PM, month, date, year, etc. Alright, and then we have our various functions that are going to be called when we push the button. Get time now. Going to display the time right now as soon as they push the button. Tie our output to the display. Get the current date using new date. This is a predefined JavaScript object here. And then we're just taking our output, taking the inner HTML of it, and we're going to display the string time right now plus get time and date as string, the function that we had defined earlier, and we're passing in the current date. Get yesterday is very similar. One difference is we're going to manipulate our time as it appears. Set the time as it was right now minus this large number. And this is the amount of seconds that are in a day. And so we're just subtracting all the seconds in a day from here, and we're getting the time from yesterday. And then displaying it as our output. Get time a week ago, much like the previous one, except we're taking the seconds in a day and multiplying them by 7. 7 days and a week. And then we just send it to the output. Get time 10 years ago. Alright, this one we're going to account for leap years in our calculations. So we're going to have a leap year multiplier. And we're going to check if we have 2 or 3 leap years in between the date from 10 years ago to the date now. There's certain situations where that happens, such as 2013 to 2003. There were 3 leap years. Whereas if you go from 2015 to 2005, there might be only 2. Alright, we're manipulating our date once again, passing in the current time, and we're subtracting the amount of seconds that are in 10 years along with the additional leap year days, and then we're just displaying it to output. And finally, we're wrapping it all up by adding an event listener to our window. As soon as the page loads, we execute the start function, which in itself ties all of our buttons to event listeners of their own. Well, that's all there is to it. I hope this was helpful. Thank you for watching.